I think this is going to be definitely an interesting transitional next 4 months, and I'll tell you why. But I definitely do see with these individuals this week, I am getting a lot of downloads, and I do feel that these individuals are really having a shake up in their tribe, family, their social responsibilities, the things they do and want to do. And it's a very rebel without a cause frequency. Um, I with that energy, it's like, okay, in the context of things, it was coming through with the divine masculine, it was coming through with the divine feminine, but it definitely, in a very bold, large way, is coming through for the karmic third party. And I think they're about to drop the hat. So, for those of you that don't know, I'm Yildiz from Yildiz Readings. I'm your host. I'm a psychic medium, cover astrology, twin flame, and twin flame coach. So, if you do need me, all my details are directly below, or you can follow the channel. Now, we're going to get straight into the read of what I'm physically seeing with these individuals this week. Now, overall, when you look at the context, the first thing I was getting, because I am an intuitive reader, was almost like this picture I was getting, and I'll show you the overall cards. But we are going to go stage by stage through this reading, so don't presume this is the totality of it. I can guarantee you there's more coming down the pipeline. We could look at these cards and go, okay, this isn't too bad. There's a few signatures here shown to me, especially because through my twin flame path, and this is what's going to happen to you collectively, is that you will have particular totems and synchronicities and numbers that will come through to you, and you will grab a signature from them, because it's almost like you and your guides are having a conversation piece. You educate each other, you understand, and you're having this interconnection. So for me, as a psychic medium, the thing I'm seeing as the foremost is the crowning energy here. And these individuals want liberation and peace, and that is without a shadow of doubt, especially with the transits of mind in the context. They're like, you know what? I don't want to do anything. I don't want to be responsible, and we can't always have that, although we would really love to. This person is being a rebel without a cause. They're like, they could be away with fairies. They could be like, I'm going for the hills. I know where I'm going. I know what I'm doing. And it's very spontaneously driven. It's very driven based upon the factor that they have a desire, they're choosing, which isn't bad. It's not bad to choose something for yourself. I just feel these individuals this week are throwing caution to the wind and going, sod it, look, this is really what I want. And we're going to come back and reference this in the context of digging through to the deep of it as we are transitioning through. We also have the elephant in reverse. An elephant can be a signifier of family. There was a point in my spiritual path where I was seeing elephant totem, and it was really strange at that point in time, because, you do tend to look at the elephant as a very protective creature. It's protecting its young, it's protecting its tribe. And at the moment, we currently have Jupiter in the house of Cancer, which I have referenced, especially to my members and to the collective when I am doing public super chats. Yes, we do host those here. Is that in the context with Jupiter in the house of Cancer, especially through your ascension, the 3D circumstances that are going to happen in all of our lives? One subject in particular can be family, nurturing family, laws, tradition, values, religion. But Jupiter tends to be a good thing, right? However, we were having hard aspects. You will always get the yin to the yang. Now, it's a little bit like if universe comes along and says, hey, we're going to give you an opportunity, you're going to take it. We need to know divine timing of when we do and when we don't. We need to decipher between reality and truth, especially in the context of the transits. They can help us better understand our ascension process and how we're showing up in the world. With the yin to the yang in mind, before I get back into the read, which still is in relationship to the read, you can get, if you are circled by very toxic situations, it's going to amplify it till it's addressed, to liberate yourself so that you directly can move forward on your path and choose, synchronistically better options. But I do see this as quite a key signature. So we're going to have a look at the top. Now, what they're moving away from at the moment, again, is another signature. It can be where they felt they were connected, just moving forward, throwing caution to the wind. And I think this is going to come back and bite them in the butt. Because whatever they're doing, however they're operating, if they did think a circumstance was in the past, it's coming back to haunt them. So this can be a past tense action. This can also be, oh, okay, this can be some action they directly have taken, especially with the crowning energy in the context, where they feel they're in alignment and they can do it all. Look at the heart of it. We have the yin to the yang here. This is in harmony. This is where they feel in harmony. Okay, it's in the heart chakra. It can be because they're wanting something. It can be what they're leaving the circumstance to, which can be masculine or feminine. But you know, for some, the message that's been shown to me is they feel they can do it all, which is a good thing. The other is they could be leaving it to a circumstance, and it can have some reference point connecting to the twin flame path. So what can that look like? Leaving a social obligation or directly impacting the twin flame collective. Does that mean it's going to be permanent? No. But again, do remember, I did reference that this can come back and burn them. We have the Moonlit Goddess. So this can be their parenting role. It can be something to do with tribe and family that they're directly moving through. And again, there can be a lot of conflict with parent individuals happening in the context this week and moving forward, especially with the actions they're taking associated to family-related dynamics. So that can be their children, if they've got children, children birthing, fertility, parenting roles, their physical environment they could be moving out of. They may have to and be, you know, maybe leaving things, you know, to the side, not really, you know, paying attention to them. And before they know it, they could be moving towards tower moment, which can be an eviction. It also can be a breaking down, but they're definitely showing very strong signatures here that something in the mix, quite majorly, they're aloof to the situation. They're hoping to goodness, guys, looking after them. They're really not thinking too much about it, and they're away with the fairies. Now, I do think that something from the past is definitely cropping back up, and it is going to be time to pay the ferryman. And I do think this is going to be bittersweet for these individuals. Now, the other thing I'm seeing, which the karmic third party is not seeing, is never to cross an individual who has hidden gifts. Now, I do think this directly relates to the twin flame collective. This can be, for some, it can be the divine masculine, it can be the divine feminine. Whomever is dealing with a karmic situationship, it is saying the individual who is dealing with the circumstance does have the tools to address it. So if you are the cross watcher, trust that you have the gifts to be able to address this, and know that this will be something that does need addressing, and you will be sticking up and you will be standing up and addressing it. Now, it's also saying if you only leave things to Gaia and you don't walk in truth and you don't walk in authenticity, it is going to cause whatever sacrifice you had. It's a little bit like saying, you know, it's like the bird on the shoulder, you know, the devil and the angel, and you go, you know what? It's okay. I'll be fine. It's okay. This person, if they have lost their inhibitions, they're throwing caution to the wind, they're not thinking about consequences and actions, whatever they sacrifice to get what they want, it's a little bit like witchcraft. It's like, yeah, that's what they say, do unto others as you wish done unto you. This, whatever this dark matter is, it has a consequence, you know, and I think we all collectively know that, and all too well in the twin flame collective, because I'm sure you can empathize with me on this path, is that 9 times out of 10, be it you're the divine masculine or the divine feminine, you can't muck up. Universe comes for you, and you're like, God, you know, why is it so hard? Yet we do look at the others and we kind of see potentially the karmic energies are getting away with, you know, we won't even tag it. Regardless, this read is very, very significantly saying there will be a purification of this situation. There will be a retribution for this, and we all get it. And that was one part on my path I had a revelation on, is like the ecosystem of Mother Nature. We don't 9 times out of 10 need to do anything, because we all get this. This all happens to us. And that was one revelation I had through a portion of my path where, honest to goodness, I literally felt like universe hated my guts. What was this path for? Why does everything always go wrong? Why poor me? Why does that person get more than me? I have to be good. They can be bad. They can get away with it, honestly. Oh, I went down the rabbit hole. And then it occurred to me one day that, all bad patterns do have an end date. And I can give you an example. We're going to the top row. Now, I'll give you a couple of toxic examples, which could be something that you're going through in your path. And I'd love to hear what you're going through in your past, because, there's other people that are going through this collectively around the world. And it's better not to be alone. And sometimes sharing those examples directly can help another person that you just don't know. And hopefully in a positive way, because we just don't know where people are at. One example can be if a karmic individual has created a pattern in their life. And there was one particular karmic individual. Oh, gosh, they did mirror each other, really. This one particular individual would profess their love, but they had 10 profiles. And in every profile connected to any partner they had, it was always that person was the love of their life. And they would spiral, and they would shift, and they would detach, and they would move to another, and it was it. There was another individual from an observation. This person would literally procreate, and which would inadvertently affect tribe, affect the young, affect the individual associated to them. And so, initially you could think, God, this is going to go on forever. But no, it doesn't, because biological clock changes. So like I said, nature has its way of closing cycles out. Nature has a way of us then, whatever we try to remove, whatever we try to avoid, we inevitably have to come a whole 180. Is it 180? Correct me if I'm wrong. And have to face that. So if that's been a pattern because of a wound, then at some point in our life, it's not going to work anymore. And what new pattern are we going to correct? What new pattern are we going to have to address? Are we going to find a different one to mask it over, like a Band-Aid with the ego? Or are we going to realize, okay, well, that one pattern won't work for us any longer. So now we have to confront the shadow. So, it did make me... It did make me look at life very differently. It did make me look at the empathy. And by no means am I saying, we are all perfect or they're all terrible. But it's an example of why we have patterns and habits. And yes, how it very much can hurt people. But inevitably that person will have to actually face their shadow for whatever reason that pattern and habit's been formed. So we see this. This person will not physically see this coming, okay? This person is not going to see it coming. They do have patterns. They are moving into doing the things they love. This can be toxic patterns and habits. They're in harmony. They're very detached. They could be very aloof. It could be very hard to forgive. But this person is none the wiser of what is coming. Now, for those of you that don't know, we do have updates, emails, sales, newsletters. It's a great thing to jump online and subscribe to our website. And we do have some really big changes coming. So to keep in the loop, you can subscribe to Yildiz Readings 5D online on YouTube and click the bell, because we do have super chats. You also can jump down and join the website. We do have bookings online. They are very limited. So each month, if you are needing that support in your path, be it it's a twin flame reading, be it it's an emergency consultation because you have triggers, or you are looking for a coaching session or an astrology session, we have tailored readings for you. I am going to be making some videos that does introduce the things that we offer here online as well as via the website. We also have a membership coming, so hold up. We'll have a chat about that in a minute. Now, as to our membership, as I mentioned, you can go to the links directly below. It is not open to the public unless you put your email down. We do have the submissions, we do have the landing page, and all the information is directly below. I am going to be changing my links on YouTube, so keep an eye on it. I'll put a post up when that happens. So it's more going to be a landing page when you drop on it, and then any information I'm sharing to you, be it it's in a blog post, be it directly on the main links on YouTube, you will be able to retrieve them and go straight to them. So again, make sure to check all the twin flame updates. We have the masculine, feminine, and karmic. And I will check in with you guys next week. Take care.